Islamophobia in the media. The news media play an important role in racism in general and contribute towards prejudice and discrimination towards Muslims in particular, what is usually called Islamophobia. Muslims are often portrayed negatively in the media through headlines and biased reporting. Every study shows this, but it's important to ask what drives the reporting. In the UK, the most common forms of Islamophobia in the media are found in the tabloid press. However, Islamophobia is visible across the whole range of newspaper titles, especially in conservative papers like The Times and The Telegraph in the UK. Across Europe also, there is widespread Islamophobia in the press, though there are clear differences between papers as media oligarchs exert an influence and editorial stances vary. Perhaps surprisingly though, the broadcasting media are also implicated in Islamophobia, even where television channels are regulated in the public interest. Because media organizations are so visible in society, it is often assumed that they are amongst the most significant producers of Islamophobia. But while they certainly play an important role in influencing public attitudes, in reality, neither journalists, nor editors, nor owners are the main drivers of Islamophobic ideas. It is primarily the agents and agencies of the state, and specifically the counter-terrorism apparatus, which formulate and codify the dominant anti-Muslim ideas that are then transmitted, in however an exaggerated form, by the media. Looking specifically at the media coverage of Muslims as a security threat in different European countries, we can see this in action. Our studies showed that official sources dominate as news media sources in France, Spain, the Netherlands, Italy, and the UK. The concepts used in reporting on Muslims closely follow the particular state counter-terrorism policy. In cases where a state adopted a prevent-style policy based around the idea of countering radicalization and extremism, the media coverage of Muslims makes much greater use of these concepts. The only country where this type of policy was not adopted between 2001 to the present was Italy. In Italian coverage in this period, official sources did dominate with a total of 57% of mentions. But strikingly, most of these mentions were of international bodies. The EU, the European Commission and Parliament, the UN, Europol, even NATO were all mentioned more than the highest Italian government department. In total, Italian government sources made up only 4% of mentions in reports on Muslim radicalization, by far the lowest in our study. Also in Italy, the domestic intelligence services did not feature in the coverage. Neoconservative voices were also relatively marginal. This was not true in other parts of Europe though. In the UK and France, the intelligence services appear to be key drivers of media reporting on radicalization. In France, the DGSI, the Domestic Intelligence Service, was the most cited source in the media. In the UK, both MI5 and MI6, the domestic and foreign intelligence agencies, were extremely prominent, being 4th and 12th overall. Islamophobia is not the result only of racist reporting in the media and their focus on Muslims over the last 20 years. The ideas and policies which inform this reporting are mainly produced by the state, as the backbone of Islamophobia, via the counter-terrorism apparatus including the intelligence services. Breaking up media oligarchies and introducing policies to support and protect independent professional journalism would significantly reduce the spread of Islamophobic ideas. But dealing with Islamophobia ultimately requires tackling it at its source, in the state institutions that shape media reporting. Our research shows the need to consider the manipulation of the media by governments, intelligence services, and the counter-terrorism apparatus more generally. To build trust and strengthen democracy, it's necessary to defund and outlaw deceptive and manipulative propaganda, and to require governments to tell the truth about their policies and activities. See reports and resources at stop-islamophobia.eu and spinwatch.org.